The third thing we have to do is creating a financial system. Creating a financial system. To say the your foundation here, you lay your foundation. Now, no, you make sure say at least your taxes here when ye, deductions here when ye, in your side hustle be in your journey year, in be ya, everything be near to me, ama your taxes are from kakra. Sanya money nan bana lay your foundation. The foundation is say you make sure say you take care of your debt, especially your credit cards. Credit cards they are not interesting you too much. You make sure say you take it. Now you open up an account for your friend is saying for our investment. What investment in now? Guess what? I feel the EBA say now no you create financial system. We need systems. I see it in here. Very, very important. In here, those systems no. In here, those systems no. So those systems in here, in here, those in systems no. Yo, you hear those systems, no? System anything, system say scanner. And you say buy na use. We use sikasa the bia one. So the system I'll be to issue. You know what it is personal finance and you one fit for. Be on a situation. Ebia means say me situation is a me tria me hoka. Ebia menu baby also see so and I mean you maybe on so see the situation is say see no try no carry lady any say investment no way and I say be opeso koto car be see who towards the car but there back one nyina even though no your friends say one fit all no but the bit me yeah the be able boy and say if you live on less than you make, if you make sure say you invest and also be generous, you always be fine. But maybe you'll be able to start in the free. So let's say it's this scenario. Every time open your paycheck, no, there are systems I'll be to use. This is one of the systems. Make me explain. Bit me use fine, but also bit me go your own way. Bit me wow. Infant said 30-20. Actually, it's 30-20-10. 30-20 110. And another system. That means anytime you get your paycheck, and I say anytime you get your paycheck, this is the paycheck. Yatiti be we have accounts. 70% or 20%. So emergency fund. We remember the emergency fund was starting emergency fund, which was $1,000 and our deductible, car deductible. So when means saving year because emergency fund we have 3 to 6 months of your living expenses. What is your living expenses? Your living expenses a year a day would run with fee. Bosumi kasen out me the run with fee, rent, any groceries, sanya wani na. Intibia every month be will spend it 7,000. Sorry, we'll 7,000. We'll spend it 3,000. Let's use 3,000. If you spend 3,000, you need between 3 to 6 months of your expenses. 3 months, whereby I'm a couple. The whole thing is a bear has some number to me lose to at the same time. It's more 3 months. If I could lose Nejuma Crab, it's media supported. But so now be beside we have 6 months of your living expenses. In that situation, anything happen, you can still live your life until that time. I'll be to me in Juma. In 6 months' time, be no to me say in Juma. So emergency fund, and in a period of within 10 years, no emergency is going to happen in your life. We be here emergency fund. No. One scenario with the 10% start to emergency until so be says can 20% a investment. A cut that account now you be 70% and you best spend it for your BBR Akabia. And that's a 20% will be to and say 20%, 15% a investment, 5% a fund money, a fund, and will be used for so many things. If you imagine say started from January, that's a consistently you're putting 15% of your income into investment, 10% for savings, now another 5% of fund money. Would this 70 no krana, because when you say, what is Kabi to home, what share ye investment for your retirement is already gone. Invest savings for BBA in immediate effect, and also now say our fund money. Hey, you know. But so what when your emergency fund we are and also with me 30 70 30 70 you say what the 20 or 20 or your friend saying 15 for investment, 5% for your fund money, and 30%, sorry, and emphasize 10% for your savings. See, the funny thing, they say, obisi, hey, boo na me sika no kra ensome. Sika no ensome. Na ede na me kwa save 30%, me 30% save. You see, this is the time you have to prioritize our staff. Building wealth and not spending every money that becomes. See, it's about time. Am I need to be rare? So Obi na kind of say be important to you. You always find time for it. If you don't find time for it, that means that it's important to you. Obi build the wealth. Now the nkrofo can be. May retire me obi $1 million at my account before 1K. And now say may retire na me ni hwee. Then I'll be choose you. You see, this is not the time to go buy the Louis and the Vuitton, the Gucci, the expensive cars you can afford, the houses, big houses you can afford. This is not the time. You see, don't use your hard-earned money to do those things. Do not. When you sue hard-earned money, you see, when say if you make it 50,000, near total taxes, in a period of 20 years, between 25 to 45, 1 million be found same. Send out that. In the infancy, what's not for 15 years. And out there 10 years, that means about this time, no, after your taxes, even your 241K is crying at the from that's all the 30,000 crown out the over bare 10 years time or what's now. At least bare 600,000 are found them. Saying how between account for now. You see, said they make you build wealth before you buy stuff. Don't use that earn money to buy stuff first. You see, you for or the so-called your friend for no. You they are using fancy cars, you see they have big houses, they dress nicely, hey, designer, Gucci, all those things, hey, Louis Vuittons and all that. Yeah, when even the bottom do our bread just to keep up with the appearance in Kwani Buayesa. You don't do that. The real millionaires, no, they don't do that. They invest first, then they let the investments, no, and Nyama buy investments, no, so near the Tonyama. By Yendi Hunesa, you see, we are in a period of whereby we can't delay gratification. Everything, we can't delay gratification. I want it and I want it now. Your paycheck back to your account to my away. Now be one canasa. I think no bisa. This kind of fine. So this is the time I can say you have to set your priorities right. So make it 50,000, 30,000 coffee. Your tax here will be the tax in a period of 25 to 40 years, be $1 million and over and a thousand. I can guarantee you, people will go through that process, normal period, normal womb. They can't account for anything because they didn't create systems. Also create system. In say, in yati bebree, in maybe or winning lotto. Or winning lotto, no, lorry no winning almost $1 billion within a short period of time, within 5 years. Let's can answer. And some people usually more winning lotto and some or circle bankruptcy. Why do you think say anything happens? Because we need system be our but our system our in place for your money. It's can be bound chair. Say you June, but with December paycheck was spend year. With December paycheck was spend year because you have the system. Say when you say Siska we told me say you 20 kwa, 70 kwa, 10 kwa, we kwa. When put that system in place, we best struggle all the time because scan send you see you know. See, you have to have those systems and build wealth first before you start buying stuff. The problem, I don't know. You want to look like the millionaires, so we go ahead and catching up with the Joneses. The Joneses are broke. Catching up with the Joneses can do math. If we run it, we make it 100,000. I was spending 120, 20,000. It has to come from somewhere. If I need to be free about credit cards, loans, circle. Within a period of 5 years, I'm making 100,000. I'm spending 120. 5 years time, they can say 100,000 on credit cards is gonna be very, very tough. So between my back. Because 100,000, would you 25% interest for 100,000 or so. And it's serious. You will bring us a situation, and yet the money now you're making any problem. No, yes, Adebako, I love our community because yeah, Juma, 2, 3 grand by a bar. Yeah, managers can eat. When this kind of talk different things, thinking says salaries can afford here. No, you see, those people that we want to emulate, we want to follow. No, most of them they make good money, really good money. When it comes to highly paid, yes, they are part of it, but they are broke. Most of them, they can real millionaires are part of it. Because average millionaire in the United States live in an average house. The same no the apartment said the your neighbor, average millionaire, live in square feet of 2,600. 2,600 average. They use new cars, slightly used cars. That's the reason why I'm millionaires. That is the reason. By if he said we used to fancy car, we used to fancy cars, more big houses, more designer clothes, dressy good, and a whisker, steady interest, steady interest across steady interest. Those people are really broke. They are not poor, they are broke because they make a lot of money, but more managing it. And that is the American system. That is the American dream. You see, the American system, no, say be easy amount. Yaman no koya no akwakojinia the amount, but won't you read that? See, that is where we have to draw the line. In a sense, say, at this point, I'm setting my priorities right. I'm building wealth before I'll start buying stuff. Build wealth first before you start buying, because when you start building wealth now, and you're not wealth in the you see, so you have to sacrifice because you have to give. I will say give something got to give before a be and that's before sending my bit to two. So they kind of the generation we are, we want it and want it now. We want it and want it now. It was all of a sudden that yeah, deka near quechi, who understand your drew point to be or say filing bankruptcy. Your drew point to be a year who she. Number 4, you make sure that emotions, free investment decisions. Your emotions free. You the emotions, the decisions, investment decision. You see, making sure to me a money in every because investing in emotions and co. I don't make us do a house no buy any so foundation issue, but I love that house until I have to buy it. With me at all. Or to die 400,000, 500,000, 600,000. You catch yourself foundation issue. Your friend is saying, inspector number 1 and say, what issue with me about? Because our dynasty so much, when emotions will be a change, most of our dino. Times now, so I feel now you'll be man into it. See, ye emotions free. Oh, na me CS, BB, and I'm a need your power, and I'm invest with CS. CS a good coffin. No, because I'm a CS too much, let me CS the channel, CS the milk, and I drop in a Missika Krama invest your honor, then in an edema drop in it. Take your emotions out of those things. No? Investment, you see, investment a little bit boring, and yet attractive, sir. But also use strategy. You have to be very strategic for when it comes to the weirdos, no, when we are weird near then the investment, we invest here, be a nice more. But when it comes to normal people now, boring. Boring, very, very boring. You see, this man called Robert, I forgot his last name. No, a janitor, just a mere janitor. He had more gas station, 2 jobs, he had more gas station. This guy, Juma guy, we, We join a local community library. Wamo 1.2 million. Wama the hospital, local hospital, 4.5 million, and a couple of dollars for the Nema. Ubia was shocked. Why? This guy, the guy worth 8 million, now the worth 8 million after a year in a period of working for 40 years. You tell me because it's boring, you know. When it comes to investing, if you say, also use we kwasha, oh spread we were me copy spread wa say me to we are na me see ya se me ntua me dan ka me ntua me pay me dan off na me invested that scanner we mean 10% wa no invest in this omo mo tisa de bi omo chiro omo fi so omo bin finance mu omo nko na omo bin na de bia bukno most of the time omo chiro but the average guy, very boring guy, the way I said Robert Reed, I said American Robert Reed. The way I say, the first sense of taxes way man for 45 years or more, we invested $100 every month. Sa for 1 kilo every month for 1 kilo. Sa with a period of 45 years. That's kind of multiply, not compounding interest, multiply na cost or retire no listen sika bebree no say gya to ho say 100,000 ho na say if you want fa bi kra nka ho your free rule of 72 so one touch says can kra one fa bi nka ho na invest says can add ton niam a good e be ma 10% rule of 72 say by the next 7 years this money no e be double it imagine say one if you kra wetima force when you be 100,000 na what do you 40 years and also the 45 years we encounter with the 50 years grana. By the time we're 70, 71, now that scan is almost a million, about 800,000. One for the crown come on, a double every 7 years. And by the time I influence with the 50 years, by the time I the 57, that money will be 200. We are whereby one for the crown come home. By the time Undi, your friend say 46 years, this cano be 400. By the time Undi 71 years, this cano be 800. Compounding interest is very strong. So don't put your emotions and for emotions in the investing energy. And then you say all the time between try to investing because compounding interest is so good and it's so powerful. Don't play with compounding interest. And Einstein can be say compounding interest is a eighth wonder of the world. People that understands it earns it. People that don't understand it, they pay. And into now kasa ebini say the credit card ka on tiasia a reverse you na wutua compounding interest ni mo bi nemo say on the credit card kana we invest here on the car kana we invest here on the TV kana we invest here wo inyasa compounding interest no see trying to invest and also trying to make sure so you get ahead financially and yet bebree any complicated things because I want it and I want it town and I decide number. So invest in ABBA and you have to be very strategic and less attractive, a very boring. And it can say boring, so you have to understand. Say that means a BBA a year 6 months, and a BBA a year 2 years, a years or decades. Years or decades as we continue doing it year over every year over area. And it's tough because you have to be very disciplined. Imagine so for the 40 years throughout your 40 years, every month be about 400, 500, 200, unjai continues. And here no kwa, yen stop see a touch it that money. You gonna for ya for 1 kick 2 seconds ya ku ye say ATM. We are sad siska mi body and ya the answer be that because anytime be we can be that compounding growth na was a bound. Woman ma ho 200,000 na ku 100 na the ku bibia that compounding no emba a loan crown waje ebia betwitwa ma na beguma we lose that portion that range na skebiti na compounding yes no we lose ni nya so ye man jaw your finances here there's no need so kwa kwaji sa nya man nyina na to boa investing a years decades consistently doing na no don't say sa nya man nya to yi to make sure say yeah plan na execute plan no than say the emotions be the actually, and yeah no kwa sometimes to even the emotions cry na ye bibi saa ye tese bibi na aba hey crypto ni na even any track record bia crypto is fine aba yin say nko ba bia but then also kukuru retirement chance or the akwakwhye crypto any track record bia 1,000 be 500% you be fine but enkoyi 401k say the akwakwhye crypto omo yes I no 2 years ago in any this year omo luso musika nyina as an investor no it's your job your goal as an investor and so share the next trend and yet the CS na me konto me PCS na CS ni gu ni na me that's the entry but look out for the next trend and make sure so we invest it and yet whereby say we invest what the other ones no and yet the BB atwam a o na sika wo na atwam ekọ it make sure say when also that trend when also looking up for the next trend I'll try to invest at this point it's our point and you feel that's where if you say you seek professional help another thing like community intimate in who the crown professional help see a beijing is capable and yeah and I in yamaso meanwhile too be any panel for more invested kakra bi obeji bitimenya about a quadruple and so on yeah it's good say we see it make sure see those things